I was always either drunk or hungover. There was no in between. I never had a day of just feeling okay. I started drinking when I was 14 or 15, and I was doing it to get away from life because I was a teenager. That in and of itself is very difficult. And I had other issues going on that I wanted to get away from as a teenager. So when I discovered alcohol and being able to transfer my state from being miserable to being buzzed and happy, that was it. That was the end. What I remember the most is complete isolation, solitude. I had no one to call upon, but I didn't want to anyway. It's hard to keep friendships going when you don't do anything but drink. The alcohol is your best friend. When I realized that I couldn't stop drinking, there was no point in going back to work. There was no point in contacting anybody and leading a life anymore. So I just didn't go back to work. I just stayed home. The most poignant memory for me was one day lying in my bed and saying, I will never stop drinking, and I'm going to die. And that was kind of the beginning of the end. I don't know why I decided to live, because it would have been so easy to give in to my desire to just give up and not live. And the only thing I can attribute it to is divine intervention, because I certainly had no faith or belief in God before I stopped drinking. So I guess God intervened, because all of a sudden I realized I do want to live. I want to give this another chance. I had been drinking that day, so I was a little buzzed. I hated myself. I couldn't believe that I was where I was, and I saw the people around me, and some of them were even jovial. And I knew that I could never have what they had. I couldn't believe they were laughing. I couldn't believe that, I didn't believe that I could ever be where they were. And I hated them for that. People think that stopping is what's so hard. It's staying stopped that's so hard, because everything that you've been avoiding for all the years that you've been drinking or smoking crack or whatever you're doing is still there. It doesn't go away. So it's like you're a baby and you're born into life and you have nothing to shield you from the problems of life, like how to make a living and how to have relationships that you don't jeopardize and how to love someone or how to be loved. There were so many things I had to learn and really screw up again. As a sober person, I had to screw up a lot to learn how to do things right. The most important thing for the alcoholic is to be easy on yourself, because I've seen what being so hard on myself and what the self-loathing has done to me, because it's lasted until now. It doesn't go away. Be gentle on yourself for being an alcoholic. You didn't mean to get this way. You can't stop on your own. But it doesn't make you a weak person. You can get clean, but you know what it takes? You've got to get honest, and you've got to get willing, and you've got to do what you're told. You've got to surrender completely. It's like you're just a baby again. You're just ripped bare. And you've got to surrender, and you say, I can't do it, I need help. Somebody or God or anybody, please just save me, just help me. And it is so hard to get there. I think most alcoholics don't find AA or don't find their faith and they don't get clean, so I consider myself pretty lucky.